We think we've pretty much explored every corner of our planet, right? We've climbed the highest mountains, sailed across every ocean, and mapped just about everything. But here's the thing. Beneath our feet lies a completely different world, a hidden realm that we're only just beginning to understand. And when scientists started discovering what's actually down there, even they couldn't believe their eyes. We're talking about places so bizarre, so unexpected, that they've literally rewritten our understanding of what's possible on Earth. Before we dive deep into these incredible underground discoveries, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you don't miss out on more mind-blowing content like this. Trust me, you're gonna want to stick around for this journey into the depths. Starting off our list is something that sounds like it came straight out of a science fiction movie. Deep beneath the mountains of South Africa, scientists discovered an entire ecosystem thriving nearly 2 miles underground. We're not just talking about bacteria here. They found complex organisms living in complete darkness, in temperatures hot enough to brew tea, and in an environment with almost zero oxygen. These creatures have been cut off from the surface world for millions of years. What shocked researchers the most was finding a species of nematode worm they named Halesphalabus mephisto, after Faust's devil, living more than 2 miles down. Before this discovery, scientists believed complex multicellular life couldn't possibly exist at such depths. These worms are surviving on bacteria that get their energy from radioactive rocks. Just let that sink in for a moment. Life powered by radiation in eternal darkness, miles beneath our feet. This discovery completely changed our understanding of where life can exist, not just on Earth but potentially on other planets too. If life can thrive in such extreme conditions here, who's to say what might be lurking beneath the surface of Mars or the icy moons of Jupiter? Next up, let's talk about something that sounds absolutely magical. The Moval Cave in Romania remained completely sealed off from the outside world for 5.5 million years. When scientists finally broke through in 1986, they found something that shouldn't exist according to everything we knew about biology. Inside this cave is an atmosphere unlike anywhere else on Earth. The air contains half the oxygen we breathe and is loaded with hydrogen sulfide, which is toxic to most life. But here's where it gets wild. Despite being cut off from sunlight for millions of years, this cave hosts an entire ecosystem of 48 species, 33 of which exist nowhere else on Earth. These creatures look like something from a nightmare: pale, eyeless spiders, scorpions, and centipedes, some with bodies stretched long and thin from generations of evolution in tight spaces. The base of the food chain isn't plants using photosynthesis like on the surface. Instead, it's bacteria that feed on the toxic chemicals in the cave, a process called chemosynthesis. Scientists were absolutely floored. This cave proved that life doesn't need the sun to build complex ecosystems. It's like finding an alien world right here at home, and it's making astrobiologists rethink where we might find life in the universe. Number 8 on our list takes us to Antarctica, where scientists drilling through the ice made a discovery that left them speechless. Deep beneath the frozen continent, buried under more than half a mile of solid ice, they found Lake Vostok, a body of water the size of Lake Ontario. But this isn't just any lake. It's been completely isolated from the rest of the planet for at least 15 million years, possibly even 20 million. The water temperature is below freezing, but it stays liquid because of the immense pressure from the ice above. When researchers finally managed to sample the water, they detected the presence of thousands of different organisms, bacteria and microbes that had been evolving in complete isolation in one of the most extreme environments imaginable. The lake is pitch black, freezing cold under crushing pressure, and yet life found a way. What really shocked scientists was the diversity they found. They expected maybe a handful of hardy bacteria, but instead discovered a thriving microbial community. Some researchers believe there might even be more complex life forms down there that we haven't detected yet. Lake Vostok isn't just teaching us about life on Earth. It's becoming our testing ground for how we might explore the subsurface oceans on Europa, one of Jupiter's moons, which might harbor similar conditions. Coming in at number 7 is a discovery that reads like something from Journey to the Center of the Earth. Scientists have found a massive ocean trapped in rock 600 kilometers beneath the Earth's surface. We're not talking about an underground cave filled with water. This water is locked inside a mineral called ringwoodite in the transition zone between the upper and lower mantle. The amount of water trapped down there is staggering. Estimates suggest there's nearly 3 times as much water in this underground reservoir as in all of Earth's oceans combined. When scientists first proposed this, many were skeptical, but then researchers found actual evidence. They discovered a piece of ringwoodite that had been brought up from the depths by a volcanic eruption, and it was wet, containing about 1% water by weight. That might not sound like much, but given the massive volume of rock at that depth, it adds up to an ocean larger than anything on the surface. This discovery is revolutionizing our understanding of the water cycle and where Earth's water actually came from. It suggests our planet's water didn't just arrive on comets and asteroids. Much of it might have been here all along, trapped in the planet's interior since Earth first formed. This hidden ocean might be why our planet has remained habitable for billions of years. acting as a massive reservoir that regulates the water on the surface. At number 6, we're heading to Mexico, to a place that looks so alien you'd swear it was on another planet. The Naka Mine contains the Cave of Crystals, a chamber filled with the largest natural crystals ever discovered. These aren't little gemstones you could hold in your hand. We're talking about gigantic beams of selenite crystal, some over 30 feet long and weighing up to 55 tons. Walking into this cave, if you could survive it, would be like stepping into a crystalline forest frozen in time. Here's the catch though. The cave is almost completely inaccessible to humans because the conditions inside are absolutely lethal. The temperature hovers around 136 degrees Fahrenheit with near 100% humidity. Without special cooling suits, a person would die within about 15 minutes. Scientists were shocked to discover that these massive crystals grew continuously for over 500,000 years in a stable environment of mineral-rich water kept at a perfect temperature by a magma chamber below. When the mining company pumped out the water, it revealed this spectacular hidden chamber. But there's more. Researchers found ancient microbes trapped inside the crystals, organisms that had been dormant for up to 60,000 years. When they carefully extracted and revived these microbes, they came back to life. These organisms had essentially been in suspended animation, waiting inside their crystal prisons for tens of thousands of years. It's another reminder that life on Earth is far more resilient and surprising than we ever imagined. Halfway through our list at number 5, let's talk about something that challenges everything we thought we knew about Earth's interior. Scientists have discovered evidence of mountains at the boundary between Earth's core and mantle, nearly 3,000 kilometers beneath the surface. These aren't small hills either. Some of these underground mountains are taller than Mount Everest. For decades, scientists assumed the core mantle boundary was relatively smooth, but using seismic waves from earthquakes as a kind of ultrasound for the planet, researchers mapped out a landscape down there that's incredibly varied. There are mountains, valleys, and massive structures that dwarf anything on the surface. What's even more mind-blowing is that these features affect everything happening above us. They influence the flow of heat from the core, which drives the movement of tectonic plates, which causes earthquakes and volcanic eruptions. They might even affect Earth's magnetic field, which protects us from deadly solar radiation. When scientists first saw the data suggesting these massive structures, many thought it had to be an error. Mountains at the core mantle boundary seemed impossible. But as more evidence accumulated from earthquake data around the world, the picture became clear. There's an entire hidden landscape deep inside our planet, affecting our lives in ways we're only beginning to understand. It's humbling to realize that after all our technological advancement, there are still massive features of our own planet that we only discovered recently, and there's probably much more down there we haven't found yet. At number 4, we've got a discovery that's rewriting geology textbooks. Scientists have found a massive underground structure beneath the Pacific Ocean that they call the Blob. Before you laugh at the name, understand that this thing is absolutely enormous and deeply weird. It's a massive region of hot rock in the Earth's mantle, thousands of kilometers across, sitting beneath the Pacific. What makes it shocking isn't just its size, but what it does. This structure is so large and so anomalous that it affects the rotation of the entire planet. It's one of two massive structures deep in the mantle, with the other one sitting beneath Africa. When scientists first detected these structures using seismic imaging, they couldn't believe the data. These blobs, technically called large low shear velocity provinces, are denser and hotter than the surrounding mantle rock. They might be ancient remnants of material from when Earth first formed, or they could be the remains of tectonic plates that sank down and accumulated over billions of years. What really shocked researchers was discovering that these structures are the source points for many of the volcanic hotspots on Earth's surface, like Hawaii and Iceland. Magma plumes rise from these deep structures like smoke from a chimney, punching through thousands of kilometers of rock to create volcanic islands. The Pacific Blob has been sitting down there for potentially billions of years, quietly influencing the geology of half the planet. It's a reminder that Earth's interior is far from the simple layered sphere we learned about in school. There are massive structures down there, ancient and alien, that we're only now beginning to map and understand. Number 3 takes us to Turkey, where construction workers accidentally broke through into something absolutely incredible. The underground city of Derinkuyu was hiding beneath a modern town, and when archaeologists explored it, they were stunned by what they found. This isn't just a basement or a small tunnel system. Derinkuyu extends more than 200 feet underground and could shelter 20,000 people, along with their livestock and food stores. The city has 18 levels, complete with wine presses, stables, schools, churches, and even a complex ventilation system that still works today. What shocked scientists was the engineering. This city was carved entirely out of soft volcanic rock, probably starting around the 8th century BC, though some sections might be even older. The people who built it created massive rolling stone doors that could seal off sections of the city from the inside, protecting inhabitants from invaders. They engineered a ventilation system with thousands of shafts that brought fresh air down to the deepest levels, a feat of engineering that seems almost impossible for ancient peoples without modern tools. But here's the really wild part. Derinkuyu isn't alone. Archaeologists have found multiple underground cities in the same region, some connected by tunnels stretching for miles. At its peak, this network of subterranean cities might have sheltered hundreds of thousands of people. Scientists are still trying to understand exactly why these cities were built and how ancient peoples managed such incredible construction projects. Recent discoveries suggest there might be even more levels and cities that haven't been excavated yet, hiding beneath the Turkish countryside. Coming in at number 2 is something that sounds impossible. Scientists have discovered an underground river system in Mexico that's absolutely massive, and it flows above another river. The Sistema Sac Acton is the world's longest underground river system, stretching for over 215 miles beneath the Yucatan Peninsula. When divers first started exploring these flooded caves, they expected to find isolated pockets of water, but instead they discovered an interconnected network that just kept going and going. What makes this system truly shocking is the halocline, a phenomenon where fresh water and salt water meet but don't mix because of their different densities. Divers can literally see the boundary between the two layers, creating an underwater river flowing through the cave. But it gets stranger. The system contains thousands of archaeological artifacts and fossils, including the remains of extinct animals and some of the oldest human skeletons ever found in the Americas. One skeleton, a teenage girl scientists named Nea, died in the cave over 13,000 years ago. The preservation is so good that scientists were able to extract DNA and learn about the earliest Americans. The cave system also contains Mayan artifacts, suggesting these ancient people used the caves for rituals and possibly as a water source during droughts. What shocked scientists most was realizing this entire ecosystem had been thriving underground, supporting unique species of blind fish and crustaceans that exist nowhere else. The scale of this underground waterworld is staggering, and new sections are still being discovered. Some researchers believe there might be other massive underground river systems we haven't found yet, hiding beneath our feet. Finally, at number 1, we have something so bizarre that when scientists first reported it, many people thought it had to be a hoax. Deep beneath the surface of South Africa, in some of the deepest mines ever created by humans, scientists have been detecting mysterious signals. We're talking about mines that go down more than 2 miles, deeper than any ocean trench. Down there in chambers carved out of solid rock, scientists set up incredibly sensitive detectors to study particles from space. The mines are perfect for this because all that rock above blocks out interference. But they discovered something completely unexpected. They started detecting evidence of what might be a vast biosphere deep inside the Earth, something they're calling the deep life. This isn't just bacteria. Estimates now suggest that the total mass of microbes living deep underground might be hundreds of times greater than all the humans on Earth combined. This deep biosphere could contain anywhere from 15 to 23 billion tons of carbon, more than all the plants on the surface. These organisms live in tiny pockets of water and cracks in the rocks, sometimes miles down, in total darkness, crushing pressure, and extreme heat. Some of them have metabolisms so slow that they might only divide once every 1,000 years. They're surviving on energy from chemical reactions in the rocks and from Earth's internal heat. What shocked scientists most was the realization that most of the life on Earth might actually be underground, not on the surface where we've been looking. This deep biosphere might have been the origin of all life on Earth, and it might still be there, largely unchanged, while life on the surface evolved and changed over billions of years. It's possible that these deep organisms are closer to what the earliest life on Earth looked like. This discovery is making us reconsider what we mean when we talk about life on Earth. The vibrant surface world we see might just be the tip of the iceberg, while the real action is happening in the depths, in a hidden world we're only beginning to explore. So there you have it, 10 incredible underground discoveries that shocked even the scientists who found them. From alien ecosystems in sealed caves to mountains inside our planet, from underground cities to massive oceans trapped in rock, our world is far stranger and more wonderful than we ever imagined. The surface of Earth where we all live might be the exception rather than the rule. The real Earth, the bulk of our living planet, might be the dark, hot, pressurized world beneath our feet. And we've barely scratched the surface, literally, of what's down there waiting to be discovered. What do you think is the most shocking discovery on this list? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into Earth's hidden worlds, smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and check out our other videos exploring the mysteries of our amazing planet. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. When you really start thinking about these discoveries, it becomes clear that we've been living on a planet we barely understand. For centuries, we assumed that life, real life, complex life, could only exist on the surface where sunlight reaches and oxygen is plentiful. But every single discovery we've talked about today completely demolishes that assumption. The deep biosphere alone changes everything. Think about it for a second. If there are potentially hundreds of times more microbes living underground than there are humans on the entire planet, then what we call life on Earth is fundamentally different from what we thought. We've been studying the wrong place. We've been focusing on the forests and the oceans and the animals, when the real biological action is happening miles beneath our feet in complete darkness. This isn't just an interesting footnote in our understanding of biology. It's a fundamental shift in how we see our own planet. And here's what really gets me about all of this. These discoveries happened relatively recently. The NACA crystals were only really studied in detail starting in the 1990s. The deep biosphere research is still ongoing, with new findings coming out regularly. Lake Vostok has only been partially explored. We don't even know what's in all the sections of the Systema SAC Acton. There are probably more underground cities in Turkey waiting to be discovered. The point is, we're not dealing with ancient knowledge here. We're dealing with the cutting edge of modern science, and we're finding out that our planet is far more complex and strange than anyone predicted just a few decades ago. Imagine what we'll discover in the next 20 years. Imagine what we might find as our technology improves and we can drill deeper, explore further, and study these environments more carefully. What's also fascinating is how these discoveries are changing other fields of science. Astrobiologists studying the possibility of life on other planets are now looking at underground environments as potential habitats. If life can thrive miles beneath the surface of Earth in conditions we thought were impossible, then the subsurface oceans of Europa or the caves beneath Mars suddenly become much more interesting as places to search for alien life. Geologists are reconsidering how much influence the deep Earth has on surface processes. Chemists are studying the energy sources that these deep organisms use, which is teaching us about entirely new metabolic pathways we never knew existed. Even archaeologists are using new technologies to find more underground cities and tunnels that have been hidden for thousands of years. These discoveries are rippling outward and affecting almost every branch of science. One thing that really stands out when you look at all of these examples is how wrong we can be about our own planet. We put satellites in space to study distant galaxies. We send rovers to Mars. We build telescopes to peer at the edges of the universe. And yet the most alien environments on Earth, the strangest life forms, the most extreme conditions are right beneath our feet. We didn't need fancy spacecraft to find them. We just needed to look down. It's a humbling reminder that no matter how advanced we become, no matter how much we think we understand, there are still fundamental mysteries waiting to be uncovered in our own backyard. The abyss is deep and it's full of surprises. But here's what I find most wonderful about all of this. Every single one of these discoveries increases the possibility that life is far more common and resilient than we ever imagined. If life can exist in sealed caves that haven't been touched by the outside world for millions of years, if it can survive on radiation and toxic chemicals, if it can thrive in crushing pressure and absolute darkness, then the universe suddenly looks like a very different place, a place full of life. Places we haven't even thought to look yet are probably teeming with organisms we can't even imagine. The universe is bigger, older, and more alive than we typically give it credit for, and that's an exciting thought. As we continue to explore these underground worlds, scientists are becoming more humble about what they don't know. For every discovery, there are 10 new questions. For every ecosystem we find, there are probably dozens more we haven't located yet. The deep biosphere research is in its infancy. We're literally just beginning to understand how vast and complex it is. New technologies are being developed right now to help us explore deeper, drill more carefully, and extract information without contaminating these pristine environments. The next decade could bring discoveries that completely reshape our understanding of life itself. If this exploration of Earth's hidden worlds has fascinated you as much as it fascinates me, then you absolutely need to subscribe to the channel. We dive deep into these kinds of mysteries regularly, exploring the strange and wonderful aspects of our planet and the universe beyond it. Every week we're uncovering new information, new discoveries, new perspectives that challenge how we see the world. You don't want to miss out on that journey. Hit that subscribe button now, and make sure you have notifications turned on so you get alerted whenever we post a new video. Drop a comment below telling us which of these discoveries shocked you the most, or if you know about other mysterious underground places we should explore, let us know. Your feedback helps us create content that you actually want to watch. Thanks so much for joining us on this incredible journey into the depths of our planet. Keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep wondering about the amazing world we call home. See you in the next one.